Welcome back to EU5. This is episode number 7. As we are halfway through the age of Renaissance, we are finally off and rolling on getting the tech going, adopting the institutions, each one separately from one another, which could have been possible all at the same time. At least in our capital, in Lisbon, we have each of the 3 key characteristic ones. There is a 4th category, which we unlocked just slightly ahead of professional armies. We've been working on that particular research tree as it opened first. Now the professional armies one is adopted. It is available to us. The other 2 are spreading quickly through the nation. You can see that we are to a point where all but Renaissance is available in at least the nearest provinces surrounding our capital, and then it continues to spread elsewhere. To our extreme, we're not quite there yet. None of them have been adopted just yet, but everywhere else we're at 98% here for the professional armies. But again, it's already adopted, as we adopted a little bit early. But banking is the one that's a little bit closer on, and you see a lot of provinces here are already anywhere from about 60 to 80%. So it's going to get a lot easier and cheaper to adopt banking before too long. But again, we're at a stage where it's now at the whims of our research. And speaking of, here is the Renaissance, not yet unlocked. Here is that banking, soon to be unlocked. Here is professional armies ready to go, and we will certainly get to it soon. But here is the other one, the scholarly treatises, which is, well, it's not done, and we're not going to initially focus on some of it. I'm not going to be doing War with no Casus Belli, so we'll leave that one alone. As we get to the bottom of this tree, there's still a handful to go, and there's definitely a couple of useful ones in there. But we started pushing down into this other tree, and we are nearly done with our currents. Actually, now's a good time to go ahead and queue up what would be next as peasant levy is happening. We have organized army march, that's recover speed. But what's this one? Army initiative. Definitely useful in battle. It would give us an advantage against enemies, raising that equilibrium, making the nobility a little bit happier. Subject opinions is not going to be a big one, but here's your max literacy for nobles. Very, very useful. We want to raise that literacy rate, which is going to I think it's one of our factors. Average literacy is one of our factors on research speed. So if we want to increase research speed, we need to raise that literacy. And it is climbing. It's now up to over 11%. So we've added close to a full percentage point from that. But in the short term, keeping the clergy satisfied is going to be one of our key things. But number of embraced institutions. Okay. That's going to be one of my keys right now. There's your reason to early adopt banking when we get to that option here soon, as that's going to speed up our research so we get through the tree faster. It's not just a matter of, well, there's things ahead of it, so I don't really need it right now. It's going to speed up the whole process. So there is at least a reason to push it a little bit earlier. Diplomatic annexation cost is going to be huge as we move away from playing tall and actually growing and expanding, which is not something we've done at all yet. We've got to get ahead of Morocco. We can't have a proper alliance with Castile. We're in a strange spot here where we're going to have to naturally just be stronger. And if we're going to, there's that other thing as we move away from this. I'll come back and queue up the next ones off camera. We find ourselves within the Castilian Union. Now, Castile is not like full on Spain, and it's not as strong as the Castile of EU4 with the different start date. It's still strong. They're 23rd around the world. They are much bigger, much stronger than we are. We are only 38th. We started at 36th. I temporarily got us up to about 33rd. We faltered. We couldn't go anywhere. Our economy was so weak for a long time there, and we did get hit particularly hard in a couple of ways. 3 ways. The bubonic plague hit everybody, but it hit us a little bit harder, despite taking efforts to try to help with that. And then almost immediately after it ended, as we were still in recovery from the plague. We then got hit by a massive earthquake in Lisbon, like directly in the capital. That killed all of the people that had just like recovery wise from the plague. We were right back down to the plague level numbers, with nearly 20k dead. And then we had as we were again recovering from that, we had a measles outbreak that hit pretty dang hard, did a lot more damage than I thought it had, killing another almost 20k. Now we've slowly rebuilt almost now to 900,000. Our low number of 820k, we've been at that number or close to that number on 3 different occasions as we keep bottoming out, and finally we're about to top 900,000. But we are way behind our peers, especially Castile on that. They are much larger. We're ahead of them on tech right now. It's a chance to do something to get involved in taking land. Unfortunately, our task got a little more difficult as Morocco and their ally Tunis each have fairly strong navies. They've got a lot of coastline. They just added Granada into the mix. So we're going to have to do something about maybe getting Aragon on our side once again, so we do have an ally who could at least hold off Tunis. I think we can get land rights through Castile, no problem, to go hold land in Granada. And maybe we go for Granada first instead of Morocco, as that can be an overland situation. But our navy's not that strong. It's weaker than them, especially with the combined forces. So going over the straits is difficult. But stopping them from invading our lands would also be difficult. But again, I think the ticket early on might be Granada, taking this land for ourselves. There's not that much here after a little bit has already been claimed by Castile. That could be the ticket. That could be the ticket, because we do not have a natural straight land cross, which makes perfect sense. That is not a land crossing right there. You're not walking across that. Yeah, Strait of Gibraltar is much bigger. Yes, you can see across, but you're not fording that anyway. We have to outgrow Castile or somehow disband this union through death, but I feel like that's not going well for us, because the king of Castile is now the leader of Portugal. This is strange territory for me, because I figured that would have been game over with Castile becoming the senior partner in a partnership between the two nations. I don't think I have control of Castile, but this is a good time to find out whether I have any sort of control over Castile. I'm thinking no, even though their king is now the character that I'm playing as. But I don't play as the character, I play as the nation. I just happen to have the same character who's king of both. I only get to control his decision making in one. Or at least that feels like where we're at in this scenario. One thing confirmed is that Castile would join an alliance with us, if not for the fact that we are in a union. I think in the union partnership there's going to be some form of union policy, centralization about diplomacy-wise that would bring us together. There's that question of unification. You would think that would be the end of it, right? There's your mutual offense right there. So we have a policy potential for mutual offense. The requirements are not currently met. What are those requirements? At least one of these. Castilian Union has not enacted established seniority. Oh, has not, but it has. So the opposite needs to be all of these. Castilian Union has enacted established seniority. Okay. Portugal has senior party status in Castilian Union. We need to become the senior partner. They can call for mutual offense. I cannot. Even though it's the same king, I'm Portugal, they're Castile. It's still separate. Okay, short term. We want to keep those finances rolling, keep growing the nation, gaining more and more power, getting through the tech tree as fast as we can. Period of uncertainty. We get a negative event one day after unpausing. Here to start the... we got a period of uncertainty, something about the king succeed him. Should the daughter succeed him, she risks becoming a mere puppet to a husband who instead would rule Portugal in her place. Nobility burghers are proposing we change the law of succession to exclude the daughter, our ruler's daughter, she's 15, from inheriting the crown. I certainly don't like that. I wouldn't see her as a puppet, and I'm not misogynistic. Our nobles and burghers are. In agreement, we would make them happy. The law, succession law, would change to Salic, which I'm assuming just means male only, or we lose 90% pop satisfaction, and we would get a rebel faction. Like, guaranteed. I'm going to have to make it. I don't have a choice but to go along with it. I do not have a choice. 90% would guarantee a rebellion. I can't stop a rebellion. Screw them. There's 5 fingers. The one in the middle is for them and their misogyny. That sucks. I blindly click the button. That's like gun held to your head kind of moment right there. That sucks so bad. Ascension of the King has very well been received by Castilian sympathizers. Many Portuguese locals view their new king with some distrust. To them, he is in many ways a man of strange customs and foreign mannerisms, right? We can gain opinion and lose 10 legitimacy, or we can lose 7 stability. Goodbye legitimacy. Again, I've already noticed that the legitimacy doesn't do quite as much for us as the stability does. Stability has some pretty positive benefits. The same benefits each, but also a second set of benefits on top of it. At least that's my interpretation here early on in the first hours here of EU5. I'm still... anybody with any knowledge of the Europa Universalis, or any paradox grand strategy for that matter, but in particular EU, takes a good 1,000 hours to get out of beginner status. Now, I have 3,000 hours to rely on experience from EU4, which helps. It's like a 300-hour head start or something. But of those 700 hours, I mean, how far in am I? This is episode 7. Each of the previous 6 have been at least an hour. 1 to 2 of them have been close to 2 hours of playthrough. That means I'm probably at about 8 hours so far. 8 hours into our first playthrough, and man, I have learned a lot. I'm picking things up a little bit faster with that experience. Again, it's a little accelerated. We'll get to the 1,000-hour mark early. Maybe at 600, maybe at 500. I will have that comfort, but, oh, it's a challenge. Intrigues. Okay, so we must listen to the nobility of our kingdom. Nobility gain 10% satisfaction. We remove somebody from our cabinet, and they are banned. Replacing them would be pretty easy. I will take that. Not that we have as much right now, but there you go. There's an old man who won't live for long, but we will spend 20 ducats. Replacing him when the time comes is fine. He's going to be faster and more effective at the job. Double checking, do I have a pop move thing? No, we do not. Migration is a nice one. I do like it. Hey, look at that. We're almost positive balance. It went away. We have positive balance everywhere. Had. Fruit orchard just finished. We just don't have the pops waiting. What is this? Member leaving Union. Okay, the following members will leave Castilian Union on the death of the king. Castile is leaving due to their secession law, cognatic primogeniture. Okay. This is good for me. This is a way out. How old are you? 39. Yeah, not that old. But maybe we can hang on for 15 years and get back to independence at that time. Government corruption, stability, or inflation. Take the inflation. We can get away from the inflation pretty quick. Minus 0.03 is fine. I can take 0.03. Let's make it 0.04 though. Resolution. Crap. Here we go. Just like that. Just like that. They're making the push in order to secure the stability of the Union. The inheritance laws of each member must be codified so that each state has the same line of succession, with the following options: unified succession law or sovereign succession law. Well, we want to go with sovereign. We want to keep our sovereignty, not be unified. Okay, vote for unified. In this case, union integration level would be +1. We don't want that. I mean, obviously we don't want that. I'm guessing that they're going to vote for this and we're going to lose, and it's going to make us unhappy. The effects, we want sovereign. He's got 20 years to get control over us, and I'm certainly worried about it. Okay, research. I need to do this. Here's my first clear, direct sign that no longer is promoting military tech or promoting admin tech. Just comes with byproducts. Research tree. Mediterranean galley ship unlocked through tech, through research. Love that that's now directly into here. That we have to manually do it. Okay, the max literacy for nobles is definitely something I would love to get into, and diplomatic annexation costs not. But I'm not ready for that. We're not going to annex a whole nation, except for maybe the possibility of Granada, right? Expected cost of court. That's got a financial boost. I think these three are definitely near the top of my list, and the noble estate. Okay, noble estate. Let's make them happy. That'll be next. And then I think it'll be time to push over to professional armies and start making some gains there. I think short term, my best chance of getting out of this union, outside of being patient and waiting for this guy to die and this succession law not to be passed down to his own, which appears to be, what's coming soon. I don't think I can sit and wait on that one. Oh, look how low Granada is on tech. Morocco, for that matter, is still there. They're only at 75% on professional armies in the capital. Spreading from there is going to take a long time. But here comes Castile. Castile's catching up. Aragon, for that matter, has all three starting to spread. So Aragon's definitely got that chance to get professional armies on the go. They like us a decent amount anyway. So yeah, we'll take that. Oh, there we go. We've just crossed the threshold for banking. Banking is at 31. Actually, we haven't even just crossed the threshold. We just crossed the threshold when it comes to cost. The ducats involved. The stability, though, would put us below 0. So, not yet. I want that boost. We will pay for it early. I can maybe bring us down to about a 15. So once we get it under about 50, once we get it under 50 for the stability cost, I think that's our time. But we'll also watch to see how close kind of everything is and just time it with that. A couple more months for a few more provinces to cross over is fine by me. We've made some more progress. We've recovered a good amount of finances. I'll make one upgrade in the short term. And let's see. Tools Guild seems to be the most profitable. Something new. Yeah, Die Maker's only a 0.3. Though new stuff is good, right? There's benefits to new things. Let me see. What's still missing? Fruit is missing from the market. That's it. Fruit Orchard. Let's get a little bit more. It's not super profitable or anything, but it's not profitable. So let's take a small one. It's not going to make much money, but at least it would be slightly ahead of neutral. Pharaoh, let you get in on the action there. You already have some of the employees to make it happen right away. Good for a smaller province to actually have something on the go, some place to work, something to, support the citizens. Fortification experts are available or improved. Fort building cost. I don't want to build any new forts right now. We're kind of at that maximum. So fort defense. I'll take the fort defense bonus. Here we go. Policy enacted. Castilian Union have voted to enact unified succession law, going against what we voted on. Again, right now, they have more voting power than I do. So literally anything they vote for is an automatic pass. So realistically, I have to just simply vote their conscience, not mine. It's not doing any good to vote against it because our estates all get unhappy by not voting with them. We have to be in support. So, unified succession law, it's gone. We're right back into locked in for the union. And back into needing to outdo them, which is what I figured in the first place, right? I have an idea on what I want to do next time we assemble the parliament. There's very much something I want to do that's going to help increase control across regions as we get that research done. So there's our noble estate. That's our last one for that category as we now head over to our military tech, giving us a possibility to get ahead and get stronger than our neighbors. We're down to just Renaissance in these provinces. 77 there. It's getting adopted rather quickly in a number of places. Yeah, it's already up to 44%. It's already up to a slight positive balance on the stability effect. Political crisis. What do we got here? Given time, passive and political crisis, which would be a huge drop in efficiency of the cabinet, or reputation is not everything. Yep, goodbye reputation. There's a lot of 80+% provinces right now, so I think it's going to very quickly go. Sovereign secession. I just lost 15% for everybody because we now have sovereign secession law. They voted in favor? Wow. All right. We just got everybody unhappy. Never mind that for a moment. This is take over ourselves, are we not? All right, so Lisbon only has 81% control. Really? It could have 100. I think I need to address that. The assimilation we're doing is up to 90%, which is nice and all, but not what we need right now. And what I'm looking for, what I was just talking about, hunting grounds, officer list, farming estates, castle works. It's not here. Urbanization, what's that going to do for us? Pop promotion speed, no, it's okay. Definitely not cathedral. Supporting the state. We don't need to boost the King of Castile. Expand farming cost. 43%, by far the highest. I definitely don't need castle works. This is not a big one. It's already at 53%, so a single upgrade could do it. But man, oh man, they are not happy folks. That's going to hurt just a little bit, but there's a very healthy percentage now. We don't need to touch it. That'll pass. Should pass. And we've passed the fun farming estates. This has had a positive. So Lamego and one of our other provinces that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, it did increase the number of laborers by 1,000. So it does have, I mean, yes, we get the prosperity uptick, which is good as a temporary thing. But that 1K increase, I think, as far as I know, is permanent. So yeah, there's a good knock-on effect there. We've passed 50% here on baking. Those 80% have suddenly gone up, and we just finished our little section of research. Army maintenance cost goes down, but we need to queue up whatever is next. Military tactics, I definitely want skill first, so we'll get military tactics. Gunsmith building, what's that going to do for us? Dedicated to the production and maintenance of firearms, Gunsmith produces various quality firearms as well as related components such as barrels, locks, and triggers. What is that? It's a building, which then gets you into handgunners and whatnot. So yeah, I think we definitely want to go with better units. Banking, 95%. So yeah, a lot of those 80s are now in the 90s or high 70s, kind of across the board. This cost is going to come down a lot here pretty soon. I don't want stability down to almost nothing. The benefits of stability is good. Let that get up to 70% or so, 75% before we trigger that and give ourselves a little research boost. Just lost our general for the First Army. Look to replace them. A 97 overall military captain. So we could add 7 stability, which would definitely help us adopt things a little bit earlier and push that tech a little bit faster, or we could add 20 satisfaction to our clergy group right now, which is down at 53, but it's growing rapidly towards its 68, and it's back into happy terrain. I'm going to go ahead and take the stability to adopt this a little bit sooner, because suddenly we have a 48 now on the loss. Yeah, that's going to go a lot faster. Morocco and Tunis are at war with Tlemcen. Now would be a great time to go to war with them, but we have not finished pushing tech to a level that puts us ahead of them. Well, I didn't get what I wanted in the last gathering of Parliament, so what we have here, libraries, institution growth, local max literacy. I think Porto and Lisbon are going to need both of these. Now, Age of Renaissance wise, we're already done in Lisbon and in a number of places. So I think these libraries are going to now wait until we are entering the third age. But yeah, we're going to want that. But there's a number of things here. Stockpile capacity, trade capacity to owner, burgers trade capacity. Here's that evil monastery that costs us so much. It's local max literacy for clergy, which is nice, but more food consumption, local pop conversion speed. Okay, there's so many cathedrals and they're not really doing much for us. Max control 5% for a temple and lowers unrest. That's one way to deal with the control situation. Does it have a regular cost though? It's glass, it's cloth, it's paper, it's copper, it's tools, it's beeswax to make it. But once we have it, it's just employing 50 clerics. It can only be one per location. Some locations already have it. Well, let's go ahead and see what we can do with temples. Santarum's the only place. All right, let's get one built. Increase market access locally. Or control locally. That's the key. Control. Let's do one financial with the dye. Should be ordered the way I want them. There we go. Porto. And another fiber crops farm, this time in Porto. Okay, back to it. A lot of people are dying right now, kind of our last generation of people. We're going to start seeing that a lot more. Lost that cabinet member, so it's going to cost a little bit to hire a new one, but it's only 17 gold. So getting that back in place. There we go. Cabinet's full once again. And we're up to 65% here all of a sudden. And now the stability cost is not so bad. It's not so bad. I think I'll give it another 5% and then we'll adopt it. Get that research going faster and faster as there's military tactics done. Oh, disorder. Oh, now the cost just got a lot more severe. We just lost 12 stability. So we definitely want that to decrease quite a bit. Well, suddenly we have that 70%, but again, that stability offset over the 12 stability that we just lost. I'm going to let it push to 75. 74%, this is close enough. It's going to take half of the stability we have right now. The cost of less than 50 ducats is virtually nothing. Let's go ahead and adopt banking and get that increase. Now we were at 15% on the adoption bonuses. Let's find out where this pushes us. Legitimacy is suddenly at 100% for some reason. I think we can lower our costs of court just a little bit. There is. Okay, there's a maximum spending on cost of court. Once it's at 100, you're not going to spend any more than necessary. Good to know. Inflation is back down to 0, I mean. New learning institution. What is this? University being built in Viseu, whatever that is. Clergy would lose 20% because they hate learning. That is the enemy of religion, is knowledge. 40 clerics will migrate each month from Estremadura to Tierra Alta for the next 60 months. That's a lot. But Lisboa gains student protests for 1 year. That's a lot. Or you get student protests for 10 years. Jeez. And the clergy happy. Clergy, how are we looking right now? It would drop me to 43%, but we'd start gaining pretty dang quick. It's almost to equilibrium now. Let's take the university. Well, hold on. What's the university building going to do for us? Local literacy 10% for nobles and burghers. Some cultural influence, pop promotion speed, migration attraction, local monthly literacy for everybody, 10% gain or 0.1, and institution growth locally. That is so useful, and normally it costs 400, and this isn't going to cost me a thing. Goodbye satisfaction. I'm taking it. Hello, Castile, with a full-on army. Have you already somehow adopted? How in the world have you adopted? Are you at war? Those are levies. Can I tell? There's a war. Castile is at war to the north with France. What do we have here? Construction. We're missing books for the construction. I've been making a lot of books. That's weird that we're missing them. Offer alliance, Aragon. Yes, please. Thank you. Accept. That's what I've been pushing those relations for. Now we have an ally to potentially take on Granada, Morocco, and Tunis. Tunis is making the move. They are picking up what everybody else in Western Europe have been throwing down. Hungary, way behind. Eastern, way behind. We can start getting ahead on the tech here to push to the new world. But we need the finances to be able to push to the new world. And we can be quite superior in the not too distant future and finally get away from playing tall. I don't want to play tall. Back up to 35th, by the way. I am making progress. The adoption of banking has been good for us. Clash. Some local pop satisfaction, trade-off elsewhere, control, trade-off. Scriptorium. See, right now, plenty of money involved. Demand is high, at least for a while. I mean, we're talking about 4,000 days. That's take many years to build. That's a very sustained demand. And there was already a decent demand anyway, so. There we go. Gunsmith building is unlocked. Banking's available now. Bank interest, total loan capacity. Well, we're not using that right now, but there's going to be a lot of good financial boosts, and we're going to need them to go with these professional armies that we are now working on. But there's your gunsmith. There's your handgunners. Cannon makers. Oof, slave centers. That doesn't sound good. Alright, well, let's get that first regular infantry regiment on the go. Just below that is kind of our first cannon. Wow, this is not a very big tree, is it? Age of Renaissance military advancements actually aren't that extensive. Men-at-arms, crossbowmen, coastal forts, supply carts. This military tree for very long. In fact, I think once we get the handgunners, that's kind of a start point to be able to move on. I was looking for what comes next, though, in terms of manpower, because we don't have anything right now. I mean, I've got a simple, like, 0 to +1 range here. We can't build this up towards max as it is. That's got to be a tech thing in here somewhere that I am missing. Merchants and trade range going up. Yeah, there's going to be some good things in this banking category. Exploration, preparation, time modifiers. I'm going to queue up the minting threshold. So 2 and 3. Navarre suddenly does not exist. It's part of Castile. How in the world did it get absorbed when we had mutual defense? And here's its popping up again. Where are they? What is? They still exist. They are right there. That's Navarre, isn't it? That's all that's left of it. Navarre just got absorbed. Okay, well, Navarre just became insignificant and not a matter, and Castile, for the second time, is growing and getting that much tougher for us to deal with. Okay, we can recover some stability as we have a bonus finally. Research progress is definitely nice, but the stability is something I want long term. And the 100 Years' War has finally come to an end. 1398 here, late November. Kingdom of France has emerged victorious in the audacious and protracted 100 Years' War. Kingdom of England has been forced to recognize French territorial integrity and make substantial concessions. Triumph has greatly enhanced the prestige and influence of France on the stage of Europe. And there you go. England is no longer in France. France has grown a little bit stronger. So now France and Castile are growing and now do have touching borders. Oh, it is. Porto is the capital right now. Okay, did not realize that. Forest exploitation. Sponsor the noble arts. What's that one going to do? Architect, composer, writer. So new people being invited to court and making the nobles happy for a good while. The nobles are fine. Let's take the long-term forestry. That's going to have a financial benefit long-term. We are going to have to help this one out a little bit as it's only at 30%. So 4% and 2% from the burghers, that's easy. Here's a 37% chance. Lessen levy obligations. I'm okay with lessening levy obligations as we're trying to stay away from that completely. There you go. That's the support we needed. We are in the clear. 83%. Check back in on those Diplo actions. Can we bring anybody over? Alliance. Kingdom of Navarre. No, not interested in them anymore. In fact, I think I need to dissolve our league. We're going to leave the defensive league. Navarre is nothing to us now. Aragon still is. And the king has ignored us. Our common ruler is very focused on his own crown and does not seem to be devoting sufficient time to the affairs of our kingdom. It is clear that this is not something that our people appreciate. Commoners can be upset. We lose 25 opinion with Castile. Or invite his to our capital. Invite his what? Invite his group? I guess that's, yeah. The time to strike is going to have to be soon. We have the alliance with Aragon. We have the tech. They have the tech. We have the tech. We're just still... Like, once we have these troops, the handgunners, that's going to have to be taken to its maximum almost right away. We can lose 5% here, negative event, but we had spare. We're at 78% still. Possible religion. Oh, we can get back to the road. Wow, we've rebuilt that much already. The saint thing was great for us. That's what unlocked the that research section. Oh, we're getting a little faster because of the research we've been doing. Getting a cardinal seat, like, what's that necessarily going to do for us? Pope has graciously granted our request to receive a new cardinal in Lisboa. Construction of adequate accommodations for such a position has already begun, costing 43 ducats. Okay. It's cardinal seat building, specifically. Town demand seat. Okay, one urban parliament seat, making the burghers happy. That's fine. That is fine. Hey, look, our last one here has got... Yeah. We are probably fully now. That was the last province, professional armies. Okay, lose 5%. That's okay. We're at 95. And the clergy is the only one unhappy, but they're at 49.5. And that passed. There we go. An extra laborers for lumber, for forestry. Good. We gain +1 manpower. Yay! I don't know what that is, but we got a little event. So banking is adopted in a lot of places. We should be seeing, as there's that regular regiment, handgunners. Okay, it's going to be time to shift on that. But anyway, before I leave this screen, we are making some good progress on Renaissance. But you can see it's still got a ways to go in a lot of these provinces. We're 98% here. It's adopted here. So we're going to cross that 20% threshold, or probably already have crossed that 20% threshold. It's coming down to stability and gold costs for early adoption. We got 2 out of 3. I did actually want to check where were we at on the current research. The bonus is now, so we added 5% for the embraced institutions. It was 15, now it's 20, so you get 5% for each one. That's brought us up to 1.55 monthly, which is definitely helping speed things along. And we are just now starting onto our banking tree. But that means we could finally move out of this screen, and I'm not worried about the rapid adoption, though obviously another 5% would be welcome. It is time to focus on military, and we can have up to 2,000 regulars right now. The levies still make up 12k though. That's still very much necessary, but it's time to start adapting, bringing in Crusader Knights, Footmen, Archers. There's the handgunners. And I'm guessing the handgunners are much more expensive, but I'm thinking that they're going to be more useful for us. Manpower recruiting costs. Like, how are we going to adopt that? That brings in 200 for one thing, maximum strength. Combat. You know, at 10 ducats a month, exploration, we're not too far off from it as we've hit the year 1400. It looks like Castile, though, has already started to colonize here somehow. They've done some research. As large as they are, I can see them being able to do at least some localized stuff, which is getting ahead of us because that should be Portuguese. Ooh, Western Schism is being debated. Papal States or France. The vote right now is... I don't know if we have a vote, but Rome has 90%. Oh, we're the only... We have a cardinal. We have a vote. Okay. Castile has flipped to Rome. And we just got the cardinal. So there's more. Here's a situation that I find myself in. And feeling a little... hand-tied at the moment, not sure what to do, but so the Western Schism, Rome has 90% vote progress, where this is council vote progress, and France is at 43%. Rome is quite a bit stronger right now. The Papal States, this is the first council that they have held. Voting is taking place right now, and the end requirements to at least conclude this section, which would be at least one of these. So it's either Papal States do not exist or hold 2 councils, this being the first. And at 90%, a second council, they just need to get to 100%, which is not too far off. Reform desire overall, though, is up to 50%. That's growing pretty quickly. This being the first right now, there's a lot more support for Rome. Oh, is this where I need to click? There's the side with. There it is. There's my vote. We are going to side with, as Castile is. Rome's going to win this thing, so we're going to side with them. Oh my gosh, I finally found it. Back on the Union. I wonder if this is where, like, the Union policies are coming in and there's some sort of vote. No, this is still the same. Anyway, hopefully I could figure this out on the next one, and maybe it's something along those lines. Castile's, as much as we have improved 4 or 5 spots, so has Castile. But we were the only ones left to vote. So this is going to end here soon. The schism is not going to last too much longer. They just need to get another 10% to hold a second council. get another vote in favor, and it's done. So the Western Schism's not going to last too long from the looks of it. And those negative events, so many of them that we've gotten, will come to an end here relatively soon. As I did figure out the gunsmith, and we'll start producing those guns fairly soon, that's going to make a pretty healthy impact, and our army will grow before too long. There's the first one done. Now we just need to populate and start producing. But in the meantime, I could start expanding this military anyway. We're not going to need just handgunners. They're good for taking out morale, but there's going to be other things like morale damage taken being less, strength damage taken being less. Crusader Knights are probably useful. So we don't have what we need for Crusader Knights either. We cannot afford... we can't afford. We don't have enough manpower. I've got to figure out this manpower situation. That's the only reason why we can't do anything, is we only have the 85 manpower, and I don't have means to do more. So if we go light, we can slowly build up. So some armored horsemen, or just horsemen. What are their benefit? They have good initiative. Oh, but they take bad damage. So just the armored horsemen, and we can order them. 58. And then you just rebuild. Oh, but of course this is going to require manpower to stay. It's not going to get as high. But these recruitment buildings are impossible right now. The sergeantry, the strongholds, like there's nothing I can do. Okay, we need a research. We need research. Let's not waste the 50 on that. And I'll have to keep looking. It's got to be in there somewhere, in that tech tree. Okay, I found it. It's the armory. The armory is going to be monthly manpower plus 10, and can recruit regiments there with fairly low cost. So this is what we need to get, and very soon we're going to queue up whatever it takes to get to that. We have drill army. We have organized recruitment ahead of that. And then the ones we were already working on, as we are most of the way done with this. We'll take the standardized coins still ahead of it, but there we go. There's our ticket. I found it. Manpower sorted out. Policy enacted. Yeah, they keep bouncing back and forth. It's a weird quirk of the game right now that it does that, and does that regularly. We could form a new defensive... there's invite settlers. Kind of very good. Thank you. And there's our early adoption for Renaissance now showing up as we've topped the gold numbers. We're at 30% right now, but the stability cost is way too high at 78, especially when we're only at 45. It's going to be a while before we get back from that one. But there is the banking opening research complete. That one not a very big deal for us, but at least it's done. Oh, there we go. There's our voting power, 179, and Spain's at 240, and they're voting for established seniority. So, yeah. Oh, and there goes our other region. We still don't recognize it. We still have the lower... I think that's the Azores here, or is that over there? Anyway, it's 2 out of 3 regions already being colonized by Spain. They're pulling ahead of us. Ooh, a masterpiece, a work of art. Sweet. Moving us towards humanist. I like that. We will take that masterpiece. 2/3 of the way through Age of Renaissance now, by the way. Or almost 2/3 of the way. And we're about to adopt the final piece. Tunisia and Sicily. Morocco is involved in that war. Again, this would be a great time. This would be a great time, but we are not yet there on the military. The much, much stronger units of a standardized military. We are going to have to still use the levies, though, at the time. But we need manpower. We need to recruit units. When we get near capacity, that's when we are going to be ready to go. These much stronger units, as opposed to the levies, will be very effective and will make us much stronger. Because again, if we look at Morocco, guessing that they are still stronger than we are. Yeah, we are slightly weaker, both in Navy and land. Actually, we are full on weaker now. They have 755 allied armies. At 40,000 levies where we have 12k. That's their allies, though. And that's with Andorra and Aragon. Aragon has 35. We're only slightly weaker navally. Up to 41%. This is going to be just a matter of... Well, we're down to 50 on that stability. I need to maybe spend a little bit more on increasing stability a little more rapidly. Where is our stability cost? Let's push that up to like 0.25. Okay, if we go into the road builder, this is something that I've been wanting to do here for a while. And no, let's start from Lisbon. So build roads. There are some already, but constructing a gravel road will have the following effects. Capital distance cost of 20 instead of 40. Movement cost drops by 25%. Market access cost drops by 10%. Proximity cost drops by 20%. So this will minimize the proximity cost to the destination and help increase control. So this is why there's no gravel road between Santarem and Lisboa. Now what I really would like to do is make gravel roads to kind of all the cities, connecting especially between Porto. It would cost me $279 to go straight to Porto for now, but I think what I'd like to start with is making one to Santorum and connecting kind of city by city. So beginning with Coimbra, that's going to add in a city here. It's going to cost me 154 ducats, but we are going to get that made up. So this will help increase control. You can see there's like 3 areas that's going to improve, and then we already have one there, and we're going to connect those up as well and try to just connect the 2 main cities to one another via gravel road. Okay, there's the minting threshold. Back over to the military tech. Catholic Church united again. The schism has come to an end. So that was actually the second council, not the first. Spread happening pretty quickly on Renaissance, up to 46%, but still would set up a negative stability at this stage. Oh, it looks like our university did finally finish construction. It's all the way to 1403 now. Finally, no major world affair that's impacting us. We're not going to get that giant string of negative events. We've already recovered quite quickly here on the gravel road stuff, and it's going to help with control around the area. Looking at control, yeah, just like that, we got a 95 right next to it. We're still building here towards Coimbra, but that's going to help push things up. And I think a road connecting to all the way to Lisbon is going to be in order here very soon. Connecting these regions together is going to help increase that control. Yeah, just like that, we've got 81 here, but I'm also increasing control within this particular region right now. And that is maxed out. That's maxed out for now, so I'm going to move on. Oh, Andorra. Okay, Andorra has broken their alliance with us. That is okay. That is okay. And if we look, Lisboa to Santorum apparently already has. But if we... There's research recruitment speed is up. If we go to Coimbra, it kind of offsets like where you're going. It goes around what we already have. So instead, let me get out of this, start from Santorum, and build a road to Coimbra. That's 231 ducats, but I think this is going to have a pretty big impact on things long term. So let's do that. Adding 2 more provinces. It's going to increase their control, and it's going to help connect things. Eventually we want to get all the way down here towards like Algarve, so we could kind of run north-south through the country pretty easily. We're at 8.5 ducats right now. Profit. I think once I have a little bit secure I've got to expand the military. See here soon. So I've kind of got this weird thing going on where I've got to expand the military, and that's gonna come with a cost. But at the same time, I want to start local exploration and get some things out of the way. We can get 100 gold and make the nobility unhappy, or make the nobility more happy. Well, they're on their equilibrium. That's just gonna knock them down for a while. Let's take it. Take the gold. We are at least into a positive stability range now. If we adopt, we're at 56%. Oh, here we go. Let me guess. You're gonna give me the gravel. No, you're not giving me the gravel one right now. Host army exercises. Army tradition decay drops and gain 10 army tradition. Very good for what we're planning in the not too distant future. Already 53%. So a single uptick would do it, and those are both at 60. So focus on land. Perfect. We lost some Navy tradition though to make that happen, but that's okay. Negative event can cost me some ducats. We're only at 75%. Let's go ahead and spend 30 gold to keep it stable for now. Folks, we are getting close to this Age of Renaissance thing happening, and actually now we're just now officially kind of at that 2/3 point. Another seat. Burger's happy. Okay. I'd be down to 10 stability right now. Yeah, we can let that go a little further. At least 65. Yay! Positive event. Ooh, it's up to 100%. And it's past army tradition, up 10%. Control's already taken care of here locally. Moving on. How long is it going to take? Let's see about that research thing. I'm still a little bit shy by a little over a ducat though, so but these gravel roads, I think they're going to start making a pretty big difference on those control levels, which should drive that up to about a 10. I don't want a negative balance. I don't want a like hefty negative balance either. It's up to 9. So we need some more production to go with this. The scriptorum is probably the best thing we've got right now, other than new stuff like sheep farms, market villages. Let's get one sheep farm at least. Vera. And then we'll go with another scriptorum. Last level for Porto. And one for Lisboa. Drill army. We are almost there on that tech. Research progress and clergy happy. That sounds really nice to me. We don't want to consider research unholy, so yeah. Monastic intellectuals actually doing something useful. Let's do it. Let's embrace Renaissance. I think we have enough to give. This will finish the Age of Renaissance for us and get that extra 5% bonus. We're going to research even faster. That's everything in the Age of Renaissance now adopted. We can research it all, and the bonus is going higher. Okay, folks. 3 institutions embraced, all research available to us, max bonuses there. Stability is a little low at the moment, but we're gaining 0.39 at this rate. We're also gaining 9 ducats monthly, so we're not far off from that 10 ducat threshold to begin exploring locally and expanding our viewpoint of the world. But Castile's ahead of us in oh so many ways, and senior partner. We have not done anything to get ahead of them on that, but the military stuff, oh, it's close. It is close. We're going to start building that professional army very soon. But our levies, not great. That professional army is going to make us significantly stronger. And like I said, I think we have to begin with Granada, ahead of Morocco and ahead of Tunis. Though we've already discovered that with Aragon's help and our help, we're going to have a navy a little bit stronger than theirs. So actually we could go overseas and invade another nation with a strong military. We'll see. We'll see when we get that advantage. I still think you start with Granada. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.